First of all, digital detox is something that we all have been coming across very frequently nowadays. And the only reason this term is catching pace now is because you go to any place. It can be a school, it can be a workplace, it can be hospitals, it can be any place. You will see people glued to their screens all the time. And ICMR actually conducted a very recent study where they said that because of the advancement in the screen times, people have been facing mental health issues increasingly. Earlier, the mental health issues for people would start somewhere around 32 to 33 when you would hit that bracket where you know that your life is coming onto you. However, now we have seen school students also go to their health counselors in school looking for therapy because they say we are depressed, we feel lonely, we are not able to sleep well in night. Digital detox is nothing but a place where you, or a method which you unplug. When I say you unplug, I do not use the phone, I do not use any screen, any digital media, any rays falling on me during that time. And now, because we have digital detox which is gaining pace, a lot of applications have been developed which help you do digital detox. So if you go to your Play Store, you'll find multiple applications which will not only tell you the steps on how to do a digital detox, but they will also kind of go back and tell you, or implement ways for you. For example, there is an application which, as soon as you download in whatever device you're using, it will start draining the battery of your device at an increasing pace after a defined time. If you say that your work ends at 7:30, the application will become active in the background and start running multiple background processes. So your battery drains, you're out of battery, you have to put your phone on charging, you do not even realize, and it switches off. And that is a way of unplugging. So, I hope everybody now understands what digital detox basically means. Okay, great. So, if you can see here, I'll just read it out, although I think I have explained it amply. It is nothing but a time period. Digital detox is when you would abstain or reduce your time of use of your electronic devices, be it smartphones, computers, TVs, tablets, honestly, even headphones, Bluetooth headphones, or a lot of times people say I'm digitally detoxing when I have headphones on and I am meditating, but that is not digital detox, because there is a psychological study which shows that if you have headphones on, you're not humming a song, you are just listening to the song, then your song is running in the background. That means your major portion of the mind is still connected to the device which is the source of that song. So I think one part which is missed here is, of course, use of Bluetooth or things like that. Let's go ahead. Before we go ahead, and I take up reasons for detox. And you can unmute yourself and tell me. I would like this to be in an interactive session. But I just tell me, how do you all feel about digital detox? Do you think it's a good idea? Do you think you need it? Do you feel mentally exhausted all the time, physically exhausted all the time, or do you think you are in an action freeze? Anybody, any hand raises? Who all feel that they need a digital detox? There are days when they are not. Okay, only one person. I'm very, very proud. Yes, we can share the slides. Yes, we can share the slides after the session is over. But during the session, I think it is more important that we understand how digital media or cyber world is affecting you. So let's try to be in the in the present here. So basically, I can see that most of the people are kind of saying that yes, I think we need a digital detox. And what do you think is a benefit that you will get from that digital detox? Or what do you think would be the time period. For example, I mean, if I talk about myself, I try not to use my devices at least 1 hour before my bedtime. So I just want to understand how many of you feel that what would be your favorite part about that digital detox? Do you what is it that you think digital detox would help you do?
No, actually, they can type it in the
Type.
chat area.
Okay, no
I have
problem.
unmuted them actually. If it is required, like we can unmute them.
No, no.
So
So
let them please type.
that's all right. I will probably. I just want to understand what is it that people are looking at from the digital detox, because that would give me an idea of what or how should we mold the session ahead. So I've typed certain inputs here in the chat. Peace, calmness, spend time with others. I have also added a couple of, do nothing. Honestly, Shivam Singh ji, I'll give you a very honest, I'll give you an interesting fact. Around 2018, Oxford University conducted a research with people aged 18 to 44 years. I think there were 57 participants in that. And you can read on Google, because this information is available on Google. It was seen that when left in a room with nothing to do, but there is a room full of 44 people, people were seen, and there was just one option, that they could give themselves an electric shock. People did not speak to others, they actually gave themselves electric shocks. So that is also something that to watch travel video, so to be honest, if you're watching a travel video, then that's not a typical digital detox. you are you would still be on screen. I would recommend that if you're interested in travel, take a printout of a travel log, read books on travel. That would be better in comparison to watching travel videos. Focus on education and career growth. That is so very important. So I'll tell you something, and the reason I know all of this is because when I started off my journey of digital detox, the first 2 months I could only detox for 15 minutes. The maximum time which I could spend using without looking at my phone, without looking at the screen, was 15 minutes. And that too after I have a complete family. That was the maximum time. But just to let you know, we have a brain, and there was a study which says that people feel they are more productive when they are busy nowadays, when they are on their phone, if they're on their phones, if they're on their screens, if they're watching videos, if they're reading a lot use on screens, their mind, because their mind is keeping busy, they start feeling we are productive. However, that is not the truth. The truth is that when there was a comparison between what their mind perception was about their productivity and what the actual perception was, or what their actual output was, it was seen that while in their mind, because their brain was keeping busy, people felt or people realized that they are being productive. However, their work, their productivity, their quality of work, quality of life, everything was way beyond what they had marked. So focus on education and career growth. That's a great idea. And honestly, screens are hampering you from knowing that. Make audio calls. I think, sir, it is better if you go and meet people, because when we say I am digital detox, when it started, I think this term started in 2007. I am not very sure of that time period. But in 2007 or 8, when they started using the term digital detox, the initiation or the initial thought was to move out of rays, because in 2005-6 onwards, when the entire boom of communication came across and everybody started carrying a phone with them, was when there were these extra cases of phones blasting on charging, phones blasting in hands of people. And that was when it was said that digital detox is being in surroundings where there are no rays. Some people even switch off their lights, because even that is some kind of, artificial lights. I'm not talking about natural lights. Okay, great. So I think everybody here agrees that we need digital detox. I mean, just help me understand. If you were to start detoxing yourself digitally, and you can write it down here, what, in your opinion, would make you nervous? What will make you go back to your phone? And I can give you options because I mean, these are some things that I have written because I these are some things that I had in my mind. Do you think, yes, urgent calls, if any, absolutely. Like I said, missing out on important updates, absolutely okay. I mean, I hope the important, I think the categorization of important updates nowadays has changed, at least for our generation or probably the next generation. And the reason I say that is because, and I mean, just to let you know, because I just looked at my watch, when you're digital detoxing, you have to let go of this watch as well. I would miss nothing. So I'm not sure, Nandini, what is stopping you from starting your digital detox? Because if you would miss nothing, honestly, I mean, I just went on a retreat, I think last month. There were those 20 days without cell phones. This was in India somewhere, and they offer a yoga retreat of 20 days. You go, you digital detox yourself, you're just doing yoga, you're eating sattvic food, you are roaming around in nature doing nothing. Vipassana. I am not sure what. I mean, I'm sorry, Shivam. Vipassana question mark. If there is some other user you're referring to the in the chat, but I would not understand that. So I mean, so yes, I agree that I think yes, it's that many days detox retreat. Yes, yes. So that is a 20. That was a 20-day retreat which I went on. But just I mean, just so that you know that yes, people tend to get nervous, and the reason digital detox is becoming difficult these days is because in my mind, I would be for a working mother, an important update can be something as small as not checking that CCTV of their daycare for like 20 straight minutes. Uh, I mean, I don't miss my phone. Okay. See, like I said, digital detox is basically freeing yourself from all rays. When I say freeing yourself from all rays, you are not even supposed to be wearing this watch, which nowadays people wear and sleep because they have to sleep monitor. Honestly, you will not need any of this if you start your digital detox journey. And I hope I am able to encourage and tell you guys how to start it today itself. So, okay, so if you look at the screen, I think we've discussed enough reasons, and I've also added a couple of studies which I was just referring to. It basically, like I said, devices disrupt your sleep. So, you definitely need a detox at least on 1 hour to 30 minutes prior to your sleep because you're not exciting your mind, you're not giving your mind new ideas. One of my colleagues, she's a psychologist. She once told me that 1 hour before your bedtime, start treating your mind like it's a computer and start shutting down those 14,000, 15,000 hundreds of tabs which are open in your mind, and these tabs, consciously and unconsciously, starts opening up as soon as you're up. So in the morning, if you're up, you're a student, your tabs will keep opening because you will be like, whether I've done my homework, did I pack my timetable well, did I polish my shoes, are my nails cut, did I miss wearing the right kind of uniform? So these are the tabs which keep opening, and consciously human beings do not close those tabs. So 1 hour before your bedtime, it's important that you start closing those tabs one by one. You start with one thought at a time and you think whether you want to deal with that thought, whether that thought requires you to go to your phone, it requires you to use a screen. If it does, do not cater to that thought and move on to the next one, but start closing those tabs. If we are using a phone right before we sleep, we are opening up new tabs in our mind. We are not closing those tabs. Allows you to maintain a work life balance. Yes, of course. See, I mean, I find, and I have been working with consulting firms for the past 11 years. I started off my journey in 2013. After 11 years, I can confidently say that no job requires you more than 9 productive hours of your day. I I mean, I was prior to this, I was the EMEA lead for one of my teams. Even I was able to finish off everything if I give out 9 productive hours. When people complain and say we do not have a work-life balance, that is because when you're working, you get a WhatsApp, you open your WhatsApp, you have to respond back. You put it down. Trust me, science has showed this. Studies have showed it that you take at least 30 minutes to go back to what you were doing completely. If I'm immersed in something and I'm typing something, if I'm writing a report, I am completely in that subject. The moment there is a beep from the phone and I pick up that phone, I will first respond to that, and my mind will take at least 30 minutes, next 30 minutes, to go back to being that immersive that I was earlier. And I have myself seen it. When people nowadays teams, because most of the organizations use teams, I'm hoping a lot of these communication devices, meeting handling mechanisms give you an option to add a focusing time period. Even your phones would have that, your smartwatches have that, your Bluetooth headsets have an auto turn off. The moment you set off your time of focusing, you will stop receiving notifications. You will not gonna, if I put my screen on focusing, my I set up a period of focusing, I do not get notifications, I do not get calls. If somebody is trying to set up a meeting, the calendar will not let them do that. These are ways in which you can focus and increase your work life balance. But the only thing is, I think this is a conscious effort from everybody to make sure that there are minimum distractions. So, if you are able to give 9 hours, you will not have to stretch beyond your time. And I have done that. I remember one day, and I think this just happened out of out of accident. One day I left my phone at home. I typically carry only one phone, and I went to office. My office is 2 hours away from where I stay. I could not go back, and I did not even have a phone to request for Uber or Portland, and my team had not come in by that time. So what I decided to do is, because I reached early that morning, I found a meeting room. I sat down in that meeting room with my laptop, and I think in that one day I completed all my work which had been pending for the past 1 week. And I did not even know when time passed, because I was carrying my tiffin as well. So I was sitting in that meeting room, I was typing. Every 2 hours I would get up because I wanted water or something like that. So I got up and then I roamed around, and I left my office at I think 6:30 that day, and my checklist of to-dos was 90% done. And that 10% did not happen because either it had dependency on others, or else I did not have the right kind of resources to complete it in my own self. So that is how much that is how much these things affect. And that was the one day where I thought and I realized that 9 hours of productive work is what you need. However experienced you are, however inexperienced you are, at whatever position you are, that does not matter, to be very honest with you. So going back to the deck, so of course work life balance is maintained. It gives you a chance to make real connections. Now, like I said, if when I was in that retreat, of those 20 days, I had around 176 to 178 people with me. We were sharing, I mean, there was a dormitory or a sharing system, and we were sharing the rooms. I do not think I did not have the time to speak to, I missed speaking to even single person. I spoke to 176 new people while doing exercises, while doing my own, while having a set schedule. I slept like a baby for 8 hours. And every time before sleeping, I know, even I still remember the names of those 176 people. And for whoever I've spent more time with, I exactly remember the conversations that happened with them. And I think the only reason was because there was no screen, nothing at all. They did not even have a TV. It was completely away. The only thing we could do if we are not talking to new people is we could go out for strolls. We could read books. I think I remember I finished reading the two books which I had been struggling to complete for the past 1.5 year. I finished reading those books. I read, I mean, I met with everybody. So these are a couple of things that bring forth the need. It forces you to make comparisons. So, like I said, even today, now I am making comparisons. Now, ever since I have started digitally detoxing, I myself try to make sure that after consciously after 7 o'clock, I do not look at my phone now. I think at after 7:30, because I have a family, that time till I go back to bed, it's just with my family. Of course, if there is an emergency, you need to be reachable. So in this day and age, we have a landline in our house. So I mean, these are the things that I have personally seen. It forces you to make comparisons, because I make comparisons today, and I myself think that instead of using my Instagram for 1 hour, I can go out for a walk. I can do exercises that will affect my mental health better. And lastly, it affects your mental health. And I would like to take this opportunity to bring out a very important thing. In nowadays, we are seeing a lot of increased cases of violence in all shapes, sizes, and forms. It can be physical, it can be mental, it can be sexual, anything. And there has been a study which has shown that all of these cases, whoever was the person who committed that, he or she had been a mental health patient. They were addicted to screens. They were addicted to the wrong side of internet. They were. It had something or the other to do with how digital world is affecting you. I mean, it has something or the other to do with how these things that we have at a stop near us are affecting us. So this is the reason why, I mean, always say that it will affect your mental health, and there would be times when you will not even feel guilty, or you will not know why you did something. For example, and I will take a very simple example. I have a friend, she always comes back and tells me that I do not realize in the moment of the time, but I start shouting on my kids. And she attributes it to saying that she's a working mother. And that's when I always go back and say that no, that's not because she's a working mother. That's because there's a lot of stimulation around her. You, any profession you are in, and I'm talking specific, I mean, it's a gender neutral thing. Throughout the day you have so many stimulations. You are a dad, you have to drop your kids to school. You are a mom, you have to pack tiffins. You are a dad, you come back from school, you come back from office, your kid wants your help in a project. You are a mother, you come back, your kid wants to talk to you about 15 things. That is stimulation. While you are doing those 15 things, you have to do your household chores. That is stimulation. And while doing all of this, because we think that this is therapy, we will put on our headphones. With one headphone we are listening to songs, with the other one we are listening to the kid, with the third one with our hands or legs we are doing whatever we are expected to do. Or if I'm sitting in a meeting, I will not have my one headphone on because there is another stimulation. I have a TV running in front of me while I'm doing my report. These are all stimulations. and these affect your productivity, your mental health. You have zero switch offs. I hope everybody understands what I'm trying to bring across. Okay, thank you. I will move ahead. So these are the reasons as to why I believe you should digitally detox. Now, when I started off my detox journey, uh, I did not know anything. And honestly, thank you, Shivam. Honestly, I do not. I mean, when I started this off around 2, 3 years back. Yes, 2 years back, 2 years back. And when I started off, I did not know what to do, because the moment I would switch off my phone or the moment I would let go of my screen, I thought reading is a great thing. So I picked up my Kindle. But again, at the end of the day, it was a screen. I did not know what to do. I was like, I was lost in the woods. So what I decided to do is I did a lot of research on digital detox. And when I did this research, I came across a lot of support groups. I did not know India has a culture of support groups. I came across a lot of applications, unfortunately digital, but it does help. I came across a lot of settings, which I was just discussing with all of you in our typical devices. I came across a lot of plans on the internet everywhere. uh, I came across a lot of consultants who were willing to work with me in the digital detox. I came across a lot of digital detox centers in India. So I think if any one of you are lost, my first suggestion would be, instead of finding things on Google, try to find a support group. These support, I know, because a lot of housing societies have a lot of digital detox help groups. So, going back to the deck, these are ways with which you can start your digital detox journey. A couple of them, honestly, I think is little difficult to do without external help. For example, making a list. Even I think every working professional today makes a list, because they will have a set of to-dos to say, I have to complete the report today. I have to review 15 controls today. I have to do. So I think this part of making a list is a very traditional method. But I think what the one thing that we are missing as a generation these days is that this list should not be in a digital mode. Do not use sticky notes in your phone. Do not use sticky notes on your laptop. Do not use a tabs to do. Do not use an application. Don't have an application even holder to do for you. Please get yourself a pen, paper, a dedicated diary, and start writing those to dos down and start striking them off. I started doing this and I could see a lot of change. Earlier, when I used to type my to dos and I'm not striking them off, those never got done. But when I took that conscious effort of taking a diary, writing the date, writing what the to do is all about, a complete to do, and striking those off, every time I used to strike something off, I used to feel accomplished. Every time I used to strike something off, I used to feel lighter in my heart, saying, oh wow, this is something that I've done today. And I think that is one thing that really helped me. So I hope you guys are able to do that. So the first thing about making the list, like I said, please do not make this list on an electronic media. Let this be a physical list. Second thing, adopting a positive mindset, to be very honest. And the reason I say that is because I am no mental health professional, but I don't think adopting a positive mindset is something that you can do by your own. You will need external help. That help can be a family friend, can be family, can be friends, can be just simple environments around you, can be nobody. I mean, I know people who say that we have a positive mindset because we have 1 hour of no human discussions as well. So that's up to you. But again, adopting a positive mindset is something where I have seen most people need external help, and a lot of times that external help also comes in the form of actual medical therapists. My suggestion to everybody is there is a reason why every workplace, every workplace, every college has a mental health professional or counselor available now, at least 24/7. The reason is very simple, because they know people are struggling, and they know that you need an external push in the right direction to go back and to say that this is something that is positive. And when I say positive mindset, I think one thing which a lot of people miss is positive mindset does not mean whatever you have on your head, just brush it down your rug. No, that is not how it should be. Positive mindset is when you know there is a problem, you acknowledge the problem, you accept that you failed, and finally you find a solution. It's a complete journey. It is not just that कि मैं उसके बारे में सोच, I'm sorry if anybody is not okay with Hindi, I will go back to English. So it is not that I will stop thinking about that one thing which will help me, uh, kind of adopt a positive. No, that is not a positive mindset. That is ignoring your problems. A very simple example, and I know this because I know most of the people face it. If you have a problem with someone, if you think someone, anybody, family, friends, you're not okay with talking to them, they've hurt you, they've disrespected you, and you think that you keep telling your mind just brush it aside, move ahead, move ahead. The reason a lot of times we're not able to move ahead is because you've not dealt with it, and dealing with it can be very individual. So for me, for example, if I do have a problem with someone, I will first go and talk to them. If they do not understand where I'm coming from, and there is agitation that I see, then in that scenario, I will just burst out and say whatever I have to say, good, bad, ugly, in that moment. Because in my mind, I'm clear as to whether I want to set a boundary and end things, or whether I want to move things ahead. So that is how I think I deal with it, and you are absolutely free to do whatever you want. But yes, I mean, a lot of times, like I said, it is just that if I have an issue with someone, I will go talk to them. If there is no solution, I tell them this was on my mind. They owed me an apology. They do not give me an apology. I will set a boundary and I will not talk to them. This is exactly what digital detox is. It is basically unfriending your devices for a certain amount of time. It is basically, and that is why that is how you will develop a positive mindset, because either you keep eliminating the
I'm not able to hear your voice. Madam, we are not able to hear your voice. Disha ma'am, we are not able to hear your voice.
am I not audible?
You're
Is
not
this
audible.
better now? Is
Yeah,
this better
now you
now?
are audible. Now you are audible.
Okay. Okay. So, okay. I'm sorry if I missed the past 1 minute. The only thing is that I think, I mean, like I said, because I cannot control what's going on in the newspaper, I cannot control what's going on in Instagram. I just disconnect. So this is what I think is about adapting a positive mindset, or these are ways in which you can do that. I would suggest, if you are struggling with this, you should connect with a therapist or any certified health professional, because I'm not the right person for that. Replace your phone with an alarm clock. Honestly, this is something that I have personally done. I have that old fashioned alarm clock in my room, and because, and I've placed it at a because I have to walk a distance to just put that annoying thing off. And secondly, it also gives me some distance from, or it also avoids me checking my phone first thing in the morning. How many of you, and you can raise your hands, how many of you uh, check your phones in the first 30 minutes of waking up? You can raise your hands if you do that. Okay. Yes. So I think a lot of people would end up a lot of people end up looking at their phones for in the first 30 minutes. This is also, like I said, this fear that I'm losing something. I checked my phone before I slept. Now I have to look at what has happened in the world in the past 9 hours. Nobody is going crazy if you do not. You have to replace your phone with an alarm clock, because that typically helps you understand, and that helps you phone for the first 30 minutes of your waking up. And the next one, like I said, organize activities that are free from devices. Now, when I say you have to organize activities that are free from devices, it's up to you. Whatever gives you comfort. If you think you're not motivated enough to go to the gym, do it for, and this 21 day funda, fortunately or unfortunately, really works, because I have tried doing that and it has worked for me. So, you should organize, you should find activities which, in your opinion, are screen free. Now, when you are doing that, and if you think you are not motivated enough, you can start joining group activities, a lot of social group activities to help you in organizing. Is my audio not proper? Am
Yeah,
I audible?
sometimes there is a breakage. Sometimes there is a breakage.
Okay, okay, I'll try resetting my headphones.
Yeah, now it's fine. Earlier, like till now, we don't have
Okay,
issue. From last 5 minutes, we are facing this issue.
okay, okay. So, like I said, you have to find support. This is something which is very critical. When you are digitally detoxing, please understand you cannot digitally detox by yourself. If you see every deck that I have made, it has small texts at the bottom. These texts are basically telling you that you are going to go back to status quo, and to ensure that you do not go back to status quo, you have to find support groups. Of course, very important, please get enough sleep. Start looking around. When I say find support, I actually have seen this in one of my known people. Earlier, that person did not indulge in family activities a lot, in any household chores. But he told me by himself that he said that ever since I've started contributing to household chores, I found support in my own partner. And we were able to finish off our chores at least 1 hour earlier. And then both of us would sleep. So we started getting a lot of better sleep. Please get enough sleep. Create a calendar. Okay, now this is something that when I say create a calendar, there are two ways of creating a calendar. One is, like I said, use a diary. And a lot of times when I know my day is not going to be productive if I do not have time slots defined for everything, either I write down those time slots in my diary along with that task. I allocate time to the task, and I put an alarm clock. I use my alarm clock. I will start the timer as soon as I my time for that task starts, and then it beeps when the time ends. Whether that task has finished, whether it is not finished, I do not linger on to that. I move on to the next thing and then come back. And then after every, I create these smaller gaps of redundancy, wherein if something was not completed, I have time to go back. I create those slots in my calendar as well of carry forward. But this is one thing. Second thing that I typically do is, because I'm a working professional, I use my calendar, Google Calendar or Teams Calendar. I set up meetings with myself during that time, because I am in a meeting and I honestly randomly just keep the Teams call on. And if I do that, people will see that my status is in a call, I am in a meeting. They do not ping. Or if even if they ping, I am not able to see because the team screen is at, and I'm doing my work. So this is one thing that you can, you can try, which is about creating a calendar. Next is, please do not rush for huge steps. This is something that I used to do. I did not do anything properly. I would do five things together. I would be thinking that I am a superwoman and I would do five things together. You cannot multitask. Humans are not meant for multitasking. So you have to make sure that you are methodologically doing everything together. I will think that if I have five reports to review, I will look at the first one very properly, and then after that, I know that everything else remains the same. I'll just glance through it. That is not how it works, and it really affects your quality. Get family in dungeons. Like I said, family, nothing is better than lot of family support. Adopt a bet. Okay, this is something that you will see later on. These are smaller challenges. So detox, digital detox is actually a proper course. It's a proper mechanism. There is a method to it, in which detox challenges are becoming increasingly popular nowadays. And I have added a couple of challenges in the slides going forward. You can take a look at them. So when you start doing challenges, adopting bets, that is when you will see that you are consciously not looking at your screens during that time. For example, I have started this 75 hard challenge. Now, this 75 hard challenge is nothing but I have to pick up a calendar. I'll write down three activities that I will do every day. And the moment I'm done with them, I will strike that off from my to do list. And I have to do that continuously for 75 days. So that is one simple challenge. You can try doing it for yourself. But there are other challenges as well. You have applications which help you initiate or become part of a lot of digital detox challenges if you think being with a group helps. So you can utilize that. I hope my pace is okay and everybody is okay. Please give me a thumbs up or uh, raise your hands if you're okay with the. Okay, thank you, everyone. Okay, so moving on to this is what I was just talking about: digital detox challenges. First, please embark on a no GPS allowed road trip, and I think there are state level groups which do this, because, and I know it because I think someone went to a no GPS Ladakh trip with one of the groups. Now, what typically people nowadays do is they will create groups. In that group, every person will go back and tell them, this is one place that I'm very confident that I know everything about, and then they will go on no GPS allowed trips. So that means at least during your transit you are not using your phones, you're not looking at a screen, there is nothing open. You put every, and I think what they do, and I'm not sure about this, I think what they do is they take a bag, they put all the cell phones in that, they keep it in the boot of the car or whatever vehicle they are using, and then they will start you working go on that, starting that road trip. They will start going on the roads, they'll ask people if they don't know the way. This is one of the challenges. I'm not sure, but I think there are a lot of. This is Surya Namaskar. It's basically yoga. You should try doing that. Sing a song while paddle boarding. This is something which is very effective. So it is actually said, or it is actually proven that if you are humming a song, you are going to be 90% more involved in singing that song rather than when you are just listening to it. Because when you are just listening to songs in that scenario, what happens is your song is running in the background, you're thinking, you're using your phone, whatever you're doing, things in the front, in your forefrontal brain is being used for these things. So but when you hum it, you can combine, I mean, you are actually letting out your emotions, you're calming yourself down, and you're engaging your senses. Swing a kettlebell in the park, I mean, yeah, this is these are just like getting to do outdoor activities. Go on roller skating, uh, sleeping under the stars. I don't know if how many of you know, but a lot of beaches in South India, the clean ones, allow you to sleep under the stars in the days when there is no when there is no high tide, this thing, high tide warning, because it is proven that sleeping under the stars will help you sleep better. It will energize your brain better. You get up more energetic, even if you take a 30-minute or 1 hour sleep. Play an instrument in the forest. I don't know where this came from, I'm sorry, guys. So I think, yes, these are a couple of techniques. There's one more thing. This is called a 5-4-3-2-1 exercise, and I would request all of you to please listen to this, because this is something that most of the people do not know. Uh, a lot of times, when you are using digital data, when you are using screens, when you are using your phones, you tend to drift away in a world wherein you are not able to listen to anybody. How many of you have experienced that you, when you're looking at your phone, you're working on your laptop, someone will have to come back and say, we've been calling you out for a long time, you did not answer? How many of you experienced these scenarios? You can just raise your hands. Yes. So what happens is, when you are using sensation, it engages your senses all together at once. You detach and drift away from the reality. This is what we say, where people are transported to digital reality. There is an exercise which is called 5-4-3-2-1. The next time you start feeling that you are drifting away, first of all, start immediately look away from your phone and identify say them out loud, 5 things that you can see around you. For example, for me right now, if I look around me and I have to engage my vision, I will say, I can see a tree, I can see a table, I can see a chair, table, tree, pen, pencil, book. I've identified 5 things and spoken them out, what I can see. See for touch and say 4 things that you can touch. When I say 4 things that you can touch, I can touch a table, I can touch my phone, I can touch myself, I can touch my watch, I can touch a chair, I can touch a wall. Then after that, 3 things that you can hear. Identify and speak out 3 things that you can hear. I can hear a distant humming. I can hear a distant dog barking. I can hear someone on the phone. After that, 2 things that you can smell. I can smell my own perfume. I can smell the air freshener in the room. 1 thing that you can taste. Now, a lot of people will say that not all the time we will have a taste, but it is scientifically proven that at all time, you will have a taste in your mouth. A lot of the times, this taste can just be simply uh, the salivatic taste. So when you are doing this, you are basically at 5-4-3-2-1. You are engaging your complete body, and you're bringing yourself out of the cyber world. So at 5, you engaged your vision, and when I spoke it out, I engaged my speaking, my spoken voice. At 4, I engaged my body, my touch, my sense of touch. At 3, I engaged my ears. At 2, I engaged my nose. At 1, I engaged my complete body. And this is how you bring yourself back. So, humming 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. A lot of the times, what you can probably do is just set your phone aside and keep your hands under the running water and hear the sound of that running water. It will instantly bring you back. And then if you think you are not able not if you're not able to engage in any of this because your mind is so jammed, simply in your mind start asking yourself self check questions. Was I expecting, in your mind ask yourself, was I expecting a parcel? The moment you say was I expecting a parcel to yourself, your hearing sense will engage, and it will automatically go to the doorbell thinking, did the doorbell ring? And it will take you in a different loop, and then you will disengage from your from digital devices. And then after that, or else something like, did someone call me out? Now when I'm doing that, you're also engaging your mind thinking, was I expecting someone? So these are a couple of techniques. I hope these were helpful for all of you. Then, of course, a lot of times audio journaling helps. If you think, just pick up your parents, your partner, whoever you think will not judge you, and start sending them long audio notes, because then you're bringing yourself back to the reality. Is everybody clear with this? Any questions on this? I mean, anything? Okay, great. Let's move ahead. Now, honestly, none of this slide is not from me. This is somebody else's things that I liked and I put it in one slide together. But yes, this is something that I actually picked up by myself, where I say that how many of you check your phones even if there was no notification? You can raise your hands. Even if there was no beep, just to check ऐसा तो नहीं हुआ that it came and then I did not listen to it, or I did not hear it out because I was not in my complete senses. This is called magnetization. Now this is what is the process here, that people checking their phones even if there is no notification is how many of you have pretended to be on a call when you were walking alone because you were just too conscious to walk alone, be in a room full of people? You decided that I'll put my phone on, on no ringing, and then I will pretend like I'm talking to someone so that nobody feels that I'm not busy. Exactly. So I think this is what is actually digital detox. This is where the need for digital detox stems from. Because when you're doing that, your mind is basically telling you that if I do not look busy, if I do not feel busy, I will start feeling useless. I will start feeling like I'm not accomplishing anything. And this is this is how many of you have caught yourself laughing or crying without realizing your surroundings because you were so engrossed in your phone? And then when you laughed all of a sudden, so or if you're in any conversation, you started emoting that conversation, a digital conversation, without knowing. Thank you, whoever it is. It is just that, to be honest, I have been on digital detox for 2 years. I think it has helped me. But thank you, everyone, for your for the appreciation here. I'm just trying to help you. So, like I said, a lot of times what happens is we try to create a world which does not exist by being on fake calls, by being on random this things, because we want to look or feel busy. And honestly, this is one of the major reasons which is why a lot of mental health issues are stepping up, because people have started saying we are bored, we are not okay, we are mentally depressed, when it is just that you're not moving enough. I have a lot of people come back and say, We do not even complete 1,000 steps a day, forget about 10,000." Because you're so glued to your, and then you will keep procrastinating to say, I will do it after I watch this one. How many of you think to yourself and say, I will start working on my report. I have just switched on my videos, switched off my video. I'm sorry, because I'm in office, and now I do not want to disengage other people, because there are others in my background, and that's a big. So just so that everybody knows, uh, there is a new act that is coming up, Data Privacy Act, and I would be a part of the recommending committee of that. But the one hot topic nowadays is when people have videos on, and there are people in the background. It is soon not going to be allowed, and you're hampering someone's privacy by switching on your audio video, and when there are other people around, because they did not consent to being a part of this session. This is a session which I consented to holding. They did not consent to it. So if I have to be, either I have to be in a room where I know nobody is going to come and no video of other people is being captured, or else I should not use video in that scenario, because they did not consent to their digital content being created. I hope a lot of, I don't know if a lot of you know, India is now on its journey to moving to a stricter digital data privacy and digital protection law, a DPDP Act, of which guidelines are still being formed by the Ministry of Electronics and IT. And you can go to the website of MeitY, you will see this. There is a PDF which has been published, and it's right now out for recommendations. So if any of you are IT risk professionals, you can read through that DPDP guideline, and you can register yourself and give recommendations. Like I am right now, because I have an expertise in that area. I am right now recommending on the guidelines to say what can be achieved and what cannot be achieved. So this is just a small bit for everybody, that next time on, if you are in a place where you have unknown people around you and they did not consent to having their video, please do not switch on your video. So these are the benefits of detox, like I said, and this is the terminology which I really liked. It's off the internet. DIET, diminished digital device, demands that are dangerously depleting, something that's depleting your mental energy. Intelligent information influx from ideal informants. Ideal informant can be a book, it can be a newspaper instead of a news channel, it can be your friends whom you're talking to and indulging in a political, or like I'm indulging in a discussion with the people on DPDP Act. It's not on any media, it's a physical face to face meeting. Educate, encourage, entertain. You get to entertain people also, because you are telling people that come over, instead of talking to each other on phone, let us sit down on a weekend together and enjoy our time. And the last one is the most important. Turn toward Torah and tame a tranquil temperament. The reason there is a lot of increase in violent incidents is because this generation has lost their ability to tame. To Torah means to move towards the right direction uh, in their mind, because their body is so stimulated all the time. So I think this is one thing that it will really help. And so right now you guys are into this kind of a yoga, and this was just so that I'm able to bring a laugh or two, wherein I say that this is more modern yoga. And I think it is better if we move to a yoga which is a 12-step routine here. This is a 12-step routine. Actually, this the step 2 which I have highlighted, these are not tips. This is a 12-step routine, and I have actually followed this 12-step routine. It's very helpful, where we take breaks away from the screens. You go out after work, you mute your notifications, and you do this step by step. Take breaks away from your screen in your work, like in your work, every 1 hour get up. Or I think it's a Japanese technique, every 20 minutes get up. Go out after work. After work, when you are going home, instead of going home directly, put on your sport shoes and just walk around your office campus without anything for 30 minutes and then go home. Mute notifications the moment you reach home. Please mute notifications from at least your office applications, office devices. Spend more time in nature. Read a book during your times when you have nothing to do, you are very exhausted. You'll sleep in 5 straight minutes. Engage in physical activities. Only use the phone on purpose. This is something which is very important, which I just asked. How many of you pick up your phone when there is no notification? Schedule your days. Make sure that you tell your mind that I am going to seize this day and I'm going to take the most out of it. Keep your phone out of your reach. I think one part which I don't know if I think I did put it here. Yes. So this is basically, these are ways here, if you see, which are your analog tools to help you. Print out paper maps. Please inform your family or friends that you are going on a digital detox. And one thing that I do is that first I let my devices drain out. The moment they have drained out, I will keep my chargers separately. I will keep my headphones and I will keep them in different rooms. In my house, one room will have one drawer with headphones, another room has one drawer with chargers, and the devices are kept in a different room. Because if they charge out, I do not have. I know I'll have to walk one entire room, find the charger. If I have to connect to the Bluetooth headset, it's in another room. If you're spacing things out, it kind of helps. Set internet free hours. Switch off your mobile data for a while. My father used to do that, and I used to feel like, why does our parents' generation do this? But it is a great idea because you do not get unnecessary notification. WhatsApp does not ring. Any questions? You can start adding them. I think I am done here. I hope I was helpful.
Good, mom.
Thank you,
Excellent. I
Nandini.
think you have done wonderfully. The session
Thank
was
you.
excellent, actually. I
Thank
think
you.
we have neatly covered all the aspects. Nice. Thank you, mom.
Thank
And
you.